I am going to set a table, okay? I'm going to set a table today, okay? And I got this beautiful table set. Oh, we got one more. Oh, there we go. I got this beautiful table set. And I'm wondering, who do you think should be welcome at my meal? Everybody? You think so? What about boys? Should boys be welcome at this meal? You think so? What about adults? Should adults be welcome at this meal? What about teachers? Are teachers welcome at this table? Maybe. You're going to welcome teachers at your table? Depends on which teachers. You like your teachers? What about parents? Should parents be welcome? Everyone should be welcome. What about Canadians? Are you sure they're Canadians? I don't know. All right. What if someone doesn't feel welcome at this table? What about, like right now, I'm like super tall, and you're all like regular height people. Like, I feel a little big and awkward. What if I don't feel welcome at this table? What about, do you think of other people that maybe might not feel welcome at this? I mean, do you think a teacher would feel welcome at this table? Maybe not. I got a story for you about this table. You got to figure out what's going on. I got a story. There's a story that on the night that Jesus had his passion, that Simon, and he was arrested, that Simon Peter followed him to where the trial was. And at the trial, someone turned to Simon Peter and said, you know the guy on trial, don't you? And Simon Peter said, no, I don't know him. And he pretended like he didn't know his friend. And later, someone else came up to him, hey, you know that guy up there, don't you? And Simon Peter went, no, I don't know him. I have no clue who he is. And he denied that he knew Jesus. And a third time said, hey, you look like you're from the same place that guy is from. You must know him, don't you? And Simon Peter said, no, I have no idea who that man is. 3 times he denied that he knew Jesus. And he probably felt bad about that. In fact, the Bible tells us he felt bad about that. And later, in our story today, Jesus was having a meal like this one. And at the table was Simon Peter. Now, do you feel, even though Simon Peter was at the table, do you think he felt welcome? I bet you he felt kind of ashamed. I've had that feeling where I was with my friends, but I had done something wrong the day before, and even though we were all sitting at lunch together, I was sitting at the far corner of the table because I felt kind of ashamed of something I'd done, and I knew that everyone else was angry at me. I didn't feel welcome that day. But you know what Jesus did? He turned to Simon Peter at the table and he said, Simon, are you my friend? And Simon said, well, yeah, of course I'm your friend. And Jesus said, good. I like having you as my friend. And that made Simon feel pretty good. And a little bit later, as they're still eating, and Simon Peter he seems like he wasn't quite comfortable yet. And Jesus looked at him and he said, Simon, are you my friend? And Simon said, well, yes, of course, you know that I'm your friend. And Jesus said, good. I like having friends like you. And that made Simon feel a little bit better. But Simon he wasn't still quite comfortable still. And one more time, Jesus looked at him and said, Simon Peter, are you my friend? And Simon Peter, he kind of felt hurt that third time because he remembered the 3 times that he had said that he wasn't Jesus' friend. But he also felt loved. And he said, Jesus, you know everything. You know that I'm your friend. And Jesus said, good. Help me make more friends just like you. Jesus turned to those people who didn't feel welcome, and he found a way to welcome them back in and make them feel part of the group. And that's what Jesus does with us. He always welcomes us, and even when we don't feel welcome, he finds a way to bring us back in. And that's beautiful. Can we say a prayer? Say, Jesus, thank you for setting this welcome table where you welcome all people in the world. On those days when we don't feel welcome, help us feel loved by you. Amen. Thank you for coming up. Can you help me put these away really quick? Yeah, some of these need to be washed, don't they? Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like if you heard good news and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest message. Peace be with you.